Joining us. I'm Roxy Badun from Promo Republic, and today we are talking and walking you through Belgravia Leisure's journey from fragmented local marketing to a unified system that supports consistency, speed, and measurable results. This session will be recorded and we'll be sharing the full recording after the webinar. So thank you for joining us. And before we begin, a quick introduction to today's speakers. I'm Roxy. I lead product and customer success here at Promo Republic, focusing on local marketing activation, automation, and multi-location workflows. Outside of work, I'm interested in data traveling and team meditation. And today, joining me, Felix Dan, Head of Digital at Belgravia Leisure. Felix, can you tell a bit more about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm head of digital at Belgravia Leisure. I oversee the digital infrastructure at Belgravia Leisure pertaining to websites, digital marketing, social media, and integrations and everything in between. Outside of that, I'm a big fan of basketball. I watch basketball. I used to follow Dallas Mavericks, not anymore because Luka Doncic, but yes, big fan of Pro Republic, and we've recently, fully integrated the whole system, and yeah, we're seeing the fruits of our labor.
Felix, thank you for being here today. A bit note about Promo Republic. Some of you know the Promo Republic, but for the context, Promo Republic powers local marketing for over 25,000 locations globally across franchises, retailers, and multi-brand groups. Our platform unifies social media publishing, listing management, reviews, analytics, and AI-driven execution into one connected system for boss HQs and local team that they can actually use. And the goal is simply give HQ clarity and control and give local teams tools that they can adopt with automation to reduce the manual work. This is foundation that shifts us today. And I'll give a quick introduction to Belgravia Leisure, and maybe Felix, I'll hand this part to you because you know it better.
Yeah, Belgravia Leisure is a one of Australia's largest venue management companies, specializing in managing aquatic centres, sports, golf courses, caravan parks, usually things of leisure to that sort of type of venue. In terms of the number of venues, we manage around 250 plus venues across Australia and New Zealand, and some of them, some of the largest local venues. And we have clients such as City of Sydney. These are big councils, and we basically have a lot of input within the community at a community leisure level. And yeah, we have many different brands, many different locations, and it's all across Australia and New Zealand. So it's a tough challenge to manage all that from a digital perspective. And yeah, it's a bit about the business.
And what are the principles behind your digital and marketing strategy? Is there something unique and special about Belgravia Leisure?
Yeah. So we have many different venues, which in most cases are white labeled. So Belgravia Leisure is a brand that isn't front facing for customers. But what the challenge involved with managing all that is doing it at scale and doing it with that white label branding front and center. So to manage that, we need systems and tools in place to empower our frontline staff as well as our central marketing team to be able to work together in a cohesive way and to manage all of those activities and to track all of those activities at scale. And so scale is principally the most challenging part to do this, at a level of, at a good level for 250 plus venues is not an easy task. So it's effectively managing 250 different businesses. So
Yeah, and this amount of brands, unique brands that you manage, that's quite of a journey and different audiences. Thank you, Felix. So to sum up, Belgravia Leisure operates across 250 venues, aquatic centers, recreation facilities, holiday parks, and more. each with its own local audiences and local needs, and you oversee that at scale. And the core challenge is balancing the brand governance nationally and having this authentic engagement locally. Would it be fair?
Yes, balancing that is definitely the main thing that we're trying to do to ensure that we're not speaking as a big brand, but as local community venues, in many cases as ambassadors of councils, you know, uh, which are contract partners and which we're very much in partnership in managing these venues. So we're not trying to be Belgravia Leisure when we're talking to our local audiences. We're trying to be, their local swim teacher, like their local, caravan park, is part of the community in essence. And so the challenge is being able to manage all that at a granular level, and also being able to support them in facilitating broader marketing campaigns to help them get more patronage, or to help them sort of deliver their message as well. So it is a challenge, and with the right tool, it's definitely possible. But it is a challenge to do that in a way which, in many cases is sort of a tight rope exercise to be able to push centrally and decentrally. So yeah, that's a
I believe you are doing this great. When because we are working with you together, when we are doing reports and seeing all of the data and how granular you go, and that there is a performance across the board, and that you have one workflow, but a lot of different brands inside, and it's all working. That's a huge job, and huge shout out to your team for making it happen and making it bring in results. Felix, can you tell a bit more about challenge that you had before, and how you started with the process and with search of the tool? Because before this transformation, the marketing operations were fragmented, and you had the challenges to manage the workflows that we've discussed before. They were manual, as I remember. Maybe you'll tell a bit more about the context that you had before joining the Promo Republic. True.
Yeah. Before joining Prime Republic and using the solution from your team, we had a relatively rudimentary tool to publish things at scale or in bulk. The issue we had was the scalability of it was limited, so we couldn't really, scale continue scaling that product, also that vendor offering to more venues. The other part was, the visibility that we had with that tool was quite limited in seeing, how posting was done, how, depending on which user type. There's a lot of limitations to that tool. We just didn't have the visibility and the accountability that we really were looking for from a governance perspective, but also from a functionality perspective. We didn't have the features that were needed to scale, our marketing activities, to the level that we were wanting. So what the challenge really was scale in essence and functionality, and with Pro Republic, we've really tied down all the requirements that we were looking for during that search. We did go through many vendors. I would say 10 to 15 different vendors, and we went through demos. We got to use some of them, and it just weren't fit for purpose for our requirements. So yeah, hats off to your team.
10, 15 sounds like a lot of work was done. And it apparently was very painful with lack of visibility and with lack of functionality to execute everything granularly. So you decided to go with the journey. You've mentioned the key gaps but what was the turning point where it became clear that existing approach couldn't support your strategy anymore? Was it the scaling point, or was there something else that made you think, I'll go and talk with 15 other companies to
So,
find?
great question. I think at a local level, posting directly in a Meta account isn't too painful. Where the pain points really were relating to central marketing activities when we were trying to post at scale or manage the broader company and all its venues at scale, and that would probably be the key pain point if I had to sort of rationalize it. And where that sort of how that materialized, that pain point, was just the waste of time that was involved in having to do something at scale and then rectifying any issues that came from that. And we were looking for a tool really to reduce that time it would take to manage campaigns at scale, to manage that data at scale, to tie it all together, to understand what we were actually doing and seeing the results of it. And so we needed a tool that could manage that and ideally more than just that. But that was the key pain point, I would say, about to locate something.
Nice to hear. The solution that we tried to address these gaps was deploying Belgravia's own white label social hub for national campaigns, state teams, and local venues, with publishing assets that are on brand for your brands and analytics in one place, allowing you at the head office to set direction, scale campaigns, and enabling venues. We rolled out reviews for in iteration number 2, I guess, given some visibility on what happens with guest experience. Would you say that that was the final solution that we came to give some more time and some more visibility to your team?
In terms of reviews, was it?
No, in terms of in general solutions. So that was a platform, or still is a platform that gives you option to scale all the campaigns, gives accesses, also has some assets to use for venues and for you, and also gives some data visibility across the board that you said you were lacking in the past.
Yeah, in terms of like the approach that we took with this solution, one thing we really liked was the option to grow with the platform. So with the number of venues that we have, with the complexity of our sort of internal company's operating structure, and the number of tagging brands and things like that are required to make this system work well. We really liked the ability to sort of scale with the platform and grow the functionality. And so what we did was effectively, do what was needed to put everything together, integrate all the systems, tagging and everything like that, and over time added functionality. And that's really helped, our marketing and venues grow their marketing activities on the platform. And now we have reviews integrated, and so there's a lot more functionality that's really been added over the past 12 months. And so, yeah, that approach has worked really well for us, and your team's support in helping us implement everything has been really helpful as well. So, yeah, the phased approach definitely worked well for us, and I think the optionality of additional functionality down the line has made it easier for us to sort of grow. And given us not just one particular option around socials, but a more holistic suite approach.
And I feel that was, knowing your structure, that was a smart choice to go into phases and scale what was a pain, like solving the main pain first, not go into everything that is possible and not possible. And getting the solution to scale campaigns and getting governance across the board, getting data, and then scale the rest. That was not the main pain point. But I guess the question to you, Felix, rolling out the new system across multiple brands and hundreds of venues is always difficult. How did you approach this rollout? What helped you drive the adoption?
Yeah, I think in terms of how we managed it, we did it in-house. But what really helped was the technical support that your team provided our marketing team, which helped us roll this platform out. And one of the things that made it easy was the training sessions that you hosted with our marketing team prior to the rollout, and assisting us with making, the documentation that was needed to help our non-technical teams at a venue level, learn the system, and that's really empowered all of them, and empowered the broader group of venues to actually adopt the tool. And we've seen this in how in adoption levels month to month, and we've really gone from not much to a majority uptake, which is what we've been looking for, and it's still growing. And so, yeah, the help from your team has really been beneficial in this whole process. But we did manage in-house, and mainly because, for our systems, it's a bit less full featured from what is available at Promo Republic. But in saying that, it's all been very helpful.
Yeah, first when we started, I was surprised that you're doing that in-house, but it's actually working. It's always great to see that the organization and how to roll out the platforms for your organization, because each organization is unique. And if you know what will work for your teams, we can adjust to that and make it happen. And it's great to see that's working. That is still a unique approach, I would say. But I'm happy that we trusted into this approach, and we see it working in Australia. We see it working with a lot of our clients in Australia, actually. So having trainings with marketing teams, having trainings with operation teams and area teams, but then you do your work, create the magic, create trainings that are working for the team, and your results show that it's working. Was there something else that stood out for you early on the stage when we were launching the platform? It was a while ago, but maybe you remember.
Yeah, it was over a year ago. In answering the question, I would say there was a handful of things that really stood out. For one, the platform exceeded our initial expectations. So, like I said, I vetted 10 to 15 different software vendors, and many weren't fit for purpose for a multi-location, multi-brand, multi-user type organization. And most, I would say, were tailored towards agencies, which generally it's a different experience from a reporting standpoint to a user management standpoint. And so that's probably one of the biggest parts of it. It's just the how fit for purpose it is for a multi-location, multi-brand, multi-user type business. I think in terms of what else stood out would be, the onboarding process. Roxy, you and Alex were excellent in supporting us. And just the responsive support from your team, and the ability for your team to actually take on feedback. And we felt like a very valued client throughout the whole process, where, if we had some feedback, we'd see it in the pipeline not too much later down the road, and that your team is taking on the feedback from us as a user. And so we've really appreciated some of the support you've given us over the past year and a bit, with helping us make this a fit for purpose, a very fit for purpose platform. It feels like almost it's custom sometimes.
Yeah. And that is always great to hear. we love feedback, and in Promo Republic, customer feedback is very crucial. Sometimes that is a challenge to hear all of the feedback, but that's makes a platform work for you, because usually our customers are using the platform, and they have pains, and we want it to work and help to make your lives easier. So that's good to hear. But coming to your results, we've seen your venues on board, and 481 user on the platform onboarded, thanks to your team. So it's growing at the moment. There is 60% of all content published through the hub, which I feel is a good result, because you are doing part of the national local community content there, and have consistency, and these numbers are growing. And I've seen the huge growth and the improvement over a year, where we started with low numbers and got here. And I believe there is a lot of work that was done by your team to have this adoption and get this visibility. Do you feel that this is what you were aiming for?
Yeah, I think
All of us want to have 100%. I know that.
yeah, getting 60% has been a huge goal. Like it's been one of our milestones. I think we still have room to improve, and part of that is, improving the usability of not the usability, but the benefits of the platform versus posting natively on Meta, and that's,
Yeah.
I suppose, the alternative. And so for some venues where there's less staff, that might very well be the case, where they're a bit more isolated. We have caravan parks where, the manager might be the person that does everything. And so for them, it doesn't make a huge difference if it's on a platform or not, because they're effectively running it themselves. And so in that scenario, for us, where we can improve is providing the benefits like templates and things like that, for them to be able to use the platform more with ease, right? And to save them time and effort. And so that's been what our primary action point over the last 12 months. And we've increased the number of templates that we have to around 2,000, I believe, when I last checked. And so we have 2,000 templates across the board, which venues can use, to send something out on socials if they need to, for a public holiday, for changes in opening hours, and it's all on brand without very much effort on their behalf. And so that's really been a driver of this uptake, because we've had a lot of feedback from our users at a venue level, who've saved a lot of time using this platform, and we can see in the data as well from the usage of the templates. And so we still have room to grow in that respect,
Yeah.
but we can see that there's a correlation between our efforts and uptake in this platform and output in social posting and activity.
So what became easier for your team day to day? And like which metric made it clear that the network is finally moving in sync? Is there something that you track on your end, or you feel that we spend less time doing the same task 100 times, or we see that's working and it save us a mental capacity?
Yeah, definitely. There's been a few examples of this. The ability to post, um, for campaigns, based on tagging and tracking that data for specific campaigns. That's really been a big, I suppose, saving of time for our marketing team, and that's really helped at a day-to-day level. being able to make reports with ease, depending on what, who the report's for. That's really been a lot easier with this platform. Yeah, posting at a venue level, templates. There's been many examples where this has
Yeah,
helped.
yeah,
Not the small scale,
yeah.
but
The granular level, I remember in the very beginning, we had this discussion. It just for others that don't know how granular it can be. You had around 40 decks, if I'm not wrong. Like it's very granular. So there are some segments that are probably like three locations that you want to scale something community, like that's a lot of work, and we are happy to see that's working for
yeah,
you.
the system itself has been really good for just everyone's use case
Yeah.
for a social media tool. And so, yeah, it's been a massive improvement on a day-to-day level for all users, I would say.
um did something change in collaboration once you moved into Hub, uh, or did it remain the same? Do you use some AI functionality? Do you see that is helping you, or you're still keeping it to optimize workflows?
It's a bit of both. Users will still manually write, but there's a combination between uh, manual input and AI-driven posting, as well as AI-driven review management and AI-driven data analysis. So there's a bit of combination of manual work and using the AI tools that are inbuilt in the system to help um, either reduce time in managing something or creating some posts for output, for example. And so the AI integration or integrations in general in Pro Republic have really helped, and the AI functionality has also assisted with enabling and empowering our dispersed team to sort of I suppose improve that efficiency.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you're using that only at the head office level, not on the local level. Or,
Uh, yes, but I think some people at a local level use the AI text generator. But at head office, we do use the
yeah,
AI data analysis. I think we're looking to expand that across the board, but I could be wrong. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
No, I
And
don't
it's
use it
fine.
at a
It's,
local level, venue level. So
yeah, yeah. We can do it in 1 minute once needed, once you feel that that's a journey. And I guess my final question, and it's one, I say, one of the bit between inspirational and philosophical. What is something you wish more franchises and multi-location marketing leaders understood about activating digital presence and local marketing at scale?
I think uh, it's quite often overlooked, but local is having a local presence, a true local presence is often much better than having a large head office presence or large corporate presence. It's just more genuine, it's more authentic, and to do it at scale, obviously as a franchise, it is a difficult task. For speaking from personal experience, um, but if you sort of look at it from that lens, local authenticity is better than mass market corporate messaging. Um, then really what you need is a system or a process to be able to enable scale of local authentic content and at a head office level be able to support that and nurture that and empower that. So um, having the right tools definitely is one of the key ingredients to success. But just having that sort of mindset, I think, is definitely it's definitely the I think the right way to go about local marketing at scale for franchisors and multi-brand businesses.
Yeah. Sounds like a good point to check and remember. We see that communities and local authenticity brings more engagement and more leads. People want to be part of the community. People want to engage with local businesses and sense that they are part of the place they live.
Yeah, community is often lost in the digital world, but I
Yeah,
think, being a local venue or being a local business, which many franchises have that
yeah,
sort of not advantageous to lean in on that because, no one wants to work with a mega corp, a mega size corp if you have the option to sort of work with your local business or be a
yeah.
customer there. So I think that definitely is an advantage that a lot of franchises don't sort of lean in on.
Thank you, Felix, and thank you everyone who joined us today. Belgravia Leisure Journey shows how a connected system with unified workflows across social reviews, analytics, assets delivers measurable gains. We'll send the recording after this session and join us for the future sessions.